Well, hello. This is Slingshot Warrior coming to you with a nice stream about marksmanship. All sorts, from archery to guns to air guns. Even throwing knives and tomahawks. I mean, throwing spears, whatever you want to, whatever projectile is you used, whatever weapon with projectile that you use to shoot. Let's talk about it. That you that means you use a gun. Very good. But you should diversify your arsenal. Funny thing. Look at this guy. This is a very awesome shooting test of a stain of a. Awesome. Can you use a bow, Red? Can you use a bow? Okay, we got one viewer. Now for crossbows are easy. They're like shooting a rifle, except without the kickback. It's crossbows because the projectile is projected from is basically the limbs and the string like thrust the projectile forward on a crossbow. You're not going to get any kickback like you would a firearm. You can just shoot it, aim it, and it's quiet as a mouse. Well, like I said, there are now repeating crossbows on the market. There is the Cobra Adder, the Steambow Stinger AR-6. There's the Vlad. By the way, the Vlad and the Steambow are basically they're small, pistol crossbows, you could say, with the basically a stock on the back, like a stock on the back. So pretty much. How you doing, Nomad? We're talking about marksmanship. So you can get repeating crossbows on the market. Now there's a heavier version, like 150-pound Cobra Adder, with a 5-bolt magazine or a 7-bolt magazine, depending on what you want. So you can get repeating crossbows on the market. I'm glad you agree, Red. Also, there are, at least in America, you can get high-powered air rifles that have the power of a firearm. For example, there's I think it's the Dragon Claw. It's a pretty good air rifle. It's a hunting air rifle. It can take down deer. If you want to take down bigger game, the AEA Zeus. Now these air rifles make firearm noises and have firearm slugs in them, and They're pre-charged pneumatic PCP air rifles. You have to pump them and everything, but they have firearm power. I mean, these air rifles can take down a deer, and the biggest one, the AA Zeus, can literally take down an elephant or basically a large bison. So it can and it's a very long and big rifle. So you wouldn't want to. Fun to use and no waiting period. Best thing about these pre-charged pneumatics is that you can buy them and you don't have to worry about signing papers. Just buy them on the internet and you're done. No, not. Now there have been crossbows that have been made that are like quick, rapid. George Spray has made some prototypes of rapid fire crossbows that are more rapid fire, where you can rapid fire shoot them. He's also made some crossbows that can shoot steel ball bearings that, like you were talking about, like a heavy jewels, like a steel ball bearing about this big, heavy duty. So yeah. Well, thank you, Red. Put up that. How nice. Oh, you made hamburger, didn't you? But a lot of things you can shoot out there. I mean, I do like crossbows. I'll be the first to tell you. Because I like the fact they're so quiet. You can shoot them and not really have to worry about making a noise or, making a fuss. It's like, and they're silent but deadly in the sense you can hunt with them. They're lethal. There's different kinds you can get. But crossbows are one thing you can use. I shot slingshots before. Now, there are some slingshots that are very high powered. Make no mistake about that one. I don't think they exist, Red Orangutan. Really? Different mechanics for CO2 and crossbows. Crossbows are they launch a projectile by the limb of the. Maybe I can explain to you. I'll bring my crossbow in. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay. Crossbow 101. Crossbow launches its projectile with crossbow launches the projectile using the limbs, which is basically the limbs of this bow limb, you know. That's how it launches the projectile. It launches it. You cock it back. I mean, you span it back. You launch, and basically once it's in where the bolt is in the groove, and this thing, what the name of this is. How do you do it to the blades? And basically, it's launched forward into the grooves. The rail is lubricated. The string is waxed, and that's how it's launched forward. It's not launched like a CO2 projectile or a firearm. It's launched by the limbs, by the spring back of the limbs. The limbs spring the string back. They spring the string forward, and thus launching the projectile forward, and that's how it works. How you doing, Addicted to Blaze? We're talking about marksmanship. You know, we're talking about you know, whatever you want to do, throwing knives, throwing axes, or throwing spears, or even guns, or bows and arrows, or crossbows, as I'm holding here. Whatever you like, whatever floats your boat, I would say. But we're talking about marksmanship and different kinds of it. Now, this is the only thing I'm allowed to show on the live stream, because it doesn't look like a firearm, people. That's the reason why. This crossbow is lethal, but it doesn't look like a firearm. So, well, thank you, Addicted to Blades. You should try a crossbow. They're really cool, man. This one is a Cold Steel Cheap Shot. They don't make this anymore, but there are plenty on the market just like this. This is how it works. It's like a self-spanning mechanism. Spanning is basically in crossbow terms for cocking the weapon, but we call it spanning in the crossbow world because it's different. You're basically spanning the limbs back, and that's pretty much what that is. We call basically the arrows of this weapon bolts. Don't ask me why. We do, because they're shorter, I guess. Oh, you have one. I haven't seen you shoot one, man. Well, it'll probably be like mine then. I do have a compound crossbow, but it's 80 pounds, and it shoots steel ball bearings. Now, I recently I can't show this on camera because anything that looks like a firearm would basically get me in trouble and get my stream shut down, and I get a strike for that. But you can see it in the videos. I recently got a high-powered air rifle that shoots pellets, and it has firearm power. It's like 557 FPS. That's feet per pressure, I think it is. Feet per second. Yeah, feet per second, I think it is. So that's pretty good FPS. Oh, you should. I love it. Thank you. I love to see you do a crossbow video. I mean, I've seen you do like a lot of blades, but I always say have a diverse. I like to diversify myself. I mean, I don't like to just do one thing. I've done blades. I need to get back to basically doing some jug cutting like you do. I want to do that, you know. I did like that setup I did with the jugs. They're all on strings, and it was a training thing where I put these timbers. I tied them to a tree, and I made them in a V-shaped pattern. Tied them tight, and I tied onto the stringed on the water jugs, and I just basically, it was a training exercise where see how it was basically just see it was a trade. Like when you have to fight in close quarters, you have to know how to maneuver your blade in close quarters, and that was the whole point of that. You know, being the warrior thing. You just basically you have to maneuver your blade with the jugs, and basically strike all 6 jugs in a V-shaped pattern, so it gets more narrow the more you move in for the cuts. You know, so it's designed to So if you ever seen that video of mine called "Being the Warrior," I started out with doing some karate, you know, punches and stuff like that, and kicks. Then I get into then I go in. You see a second where I go in the woods. I set up this little training thing, you know, where it's like these trees and they're set up, and I tied these thick branches to the sides, and it's in a V pattern. And the water jugs. Thank you. So that is all. I did that, and that was an original thing that I did. I just came up with that idea. It's like, how would you basically fight in close quarters? I mean, I hate most modern combat. I would say this: if you're fighting with a blade in modern combat, you don't want a long blade, because most of the time you're going to be fighting in close, probably in like close quarters. I'm not close quarters, but you're going to be fighting in like, you know, in basically narrow spaces. You're not going to be fighting out in the open like it was like 1,000 years ago. More than likely, you're going to be fighting in a narrow space. So this kind of blade is kind of built for that. You're going to be fighting in a narrow space. So I don't really get any blades longer than this. This is all you need when it comes to blades in modern combat. You know? Yes, I can. Watch my Being the Warrior training montage, where I basically built this. I basically tied branches to the trees, right? Tied them tight, and I put these water jugs on the side. And the further you go in, the more tighter the space becomes. I did that on purpose. Hello, Nancy. Exactly, Red. That's another good thing of marksmanship. Blowguns. I've done those before. They're really cool, simple to use, really fun. I killed a bat with one of those once. I killed a bat with the blowgun. Um, exactly. And if you saw that training montage, that's what I did. So I would say when it comes to I'm not real. We usually would talk about marksmanship, but this came up, I guess, and but yeah, no longer than this. You don't need any more blade than this. If you're going like long sword, don't do it, because it's not necessary. Awesome, YM, awesome. Sounds cool. No, the bat wasn't flying, Nancy. I'm doing very well. We're talking about marksmanship. Yeah, show. Ain't that nice? No, here we go. Excuse me. There we go. Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. Addicted to blades. They're fast bastards, so I'm surprised you were able to do that. It's not airsoft. It's a pellet gun. Ugh. People don't know anything about air guns to call everything air. I've heard this before. People that don't know anything about air guns call everything airsoft. Now, I understand if you live. No, it shoots pellets. It shoots .177 pellets. Oh, how stupid this is. Okay. I've heard this before, and this is commonly a mistake that people make when it comes to air guns. They think everything about air guns is airsoft. It's not. There are less than lethal launchers, like basically CO2 powered launchers that can literally launch 68 to 50 caliber projectiles from pepper balls to different kinds of riot balls to less than lethal slugs. A lot of them are tipped with steel ball bearings. It's common misconceptions here. Common misconceptions. Not every air gun is airsoft. For example, there's pre-charged pneumatic air rifles out there on the market that have the power of a firearm. But you can buy one without any kind of licensing. So, you can also buy black powder. You're taking a big chance of black powder, in my opinion. Excuse me. How you doing, Joseph? We're talking about marksmanship. All types of projectile weapons here. So there are lethal air rifles out there, okay? We're talking about air rifles that can bring down deer, bison. There are ones out there on the market that is pre-charged pneumatics that would just, they got firearm sound, they make a firearm sound, and they got firearms size projectiles. They got big bore projectiles, but the pellet ones do have firearm lethality as well. Some of the pellet ones can literally, could tear a human being apart. With the power they got these days, these pre-charged pneumatics, So not everything's an airsoft, okay? There are less than lethals, pre-charged pneumatics. PCP is what they're called. They're PCPs. There's less than lethal PCPs. For example, the Byrna is one of the best less than lethals on the market. If that, that you can get most reliable because it will shoot. You don't have to tap it. It will shoot like automatically from the trigger. Very expensive though. Exactly, Joseph. Exactly. So a lot of people are going to say everything is a BB gun, everything's airsoft, and it's a common misconception. There's different types. There's less than lethal, which is pretty much designed for basically hurting someone, like incapacitating someone, but not killing them. And And if you live in a state like mine, well, you don't know what prosecutor you're going to get. I'm not, and I always say less than lethal is not for every situation. It's not for a guy with a gun. I can tell you that right now. It is for a guy that's coming at you with a knife. Less than lethal can be very effective. Okay? I want to say that right now. A guy with the gun, you're going to have to pull out some type of hardware, in my opinion. That's why I got this more lethal pellet rifle. It has like 557 FPS. So I'm going to get some H&N Hornets, which is one of the best pellets on the market. Lead pellets, by the way. Lead. Exactly, Joseph. Exactly. Now, it is true in Europe that air guns are heavily regulated. So they're heavily regulated in Europe, and they might as well be useless because of their heavy regulation. But not in America, with the exception of the state of New Jersey. But that's the only place, you know. So in America, you can buy an air rifle with firearm power, and it's like without any type of, like a background check or anything. It's like, no license needed for an air rifle. No, it's like you can buy one off the internet and nobody gives a shit. The ATF doesn't give a shit. Exactly, Joseph. And modern combat sports, modern combat sports is where I got this pellet rifle semi-automatic. Modern combat sports with the promo code TACFAM. That's that's capital letters, one word, TACFAM. That's your promo code. Get 20% off on modern combat sports. Well, maybe your eyes are opening, to the power of them. They're not what you thought they were. They're not BB guns. They're not the Red Riders that you used to shoot when you're a kid. They're not. Maybe you might open your eyes to less than lethal and how powerful that is. I mean, I literally basically took chunks out of a pumpkin with my HDR 68. I took chunks out of a pumpkin. Not lethal, but it would still hurt. Well, I would say this. It's like you can always buy a motor for a pre-charged pneumatic, an air motor, like a PCP air motor, and awesome, Joseph. I've heard about that. Yeah, I wanted to get one. It's always been on my wish list, to be honest with you, but I have crossbows, and I get you, Kenny. I get you. about the license. Not here. And that's the thing about America, at least for now. You don't have that problem. It's not like Europe, which is, my HDR 68 gets 230 FPS. That's not bad. No, I've not seen that. I'll have to check that one out. Oh man, that's really cool. Now the point is, here in America, you can get air rifles that have firearm lethality, pre-charged pneumatics, PCPs, and they're accurate. That's all I can say. That's true, Joseph. Totally true. Oh, I think you're talking about the AEA Zeus, Kenny. The AEA Zeus. I still have it, Joseph. I still have that pump. I still got it. I haven't given it up. I'm keeping it for a future PCP. Awesome. I might. Well, the Texan, yeah. Now, for you guys in Europe, I would say this is that your best bet would probably be repeating crossbow. I think that Mike has really started using those repeating crossbows because there's no regulation on crossbows in your country, and any of the European countries. Well, there are some parts that are banned, some countries where they do ban crossbows, but for the most part, you can buy a crossbow with pretty good power, Good choice, Joseph. Now, Joseph is also an adept at archery. He's done archery, which is he's a pretty good archer. I mean, he's really good. I mean, I gotta hand it to you, Joseph. You're a good archer, and you're good at throwing atlatls and even shooting slingshots. I mean, you got a multiple use thing. I was going to watch your rabbit snare videos, but I was at work. I was working. I got to catch up on some videos. I usually do that. Okay, I can't watch a lot of the videos that are put out by you good people. For 2 days, and I got to wait because I got to work. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've seen that. Well, I hope, Nancy, that changed your mind about certain air guns and things of that nature and the power of them, because I've been trying to convince you of this for a while. Even the less than lethals can cause serious pain And if struck in the right places, I mean, it can cause death. That's the reason why it's called less than lethal. It's less than lethal. It doesn't mean it can't be lethal. It's just less than lethal. But the point is here, I love all forms of marksmanship. I like people who throw spears accurately. You can throw short javelins. Love that too. I like people that can throw knives and tomahawks. People like Adam Seladin. Um, Adam Seladin and some others, Addicted to Blades. Have you ever seen Addicted to Blades? FAB, Fast Action Blades. A friend of mine from Canada, by the way. Exactly. It's all about the aim. It's all about the focus. It doesn't matter what you shoot. It matters how good you are at shooting it. It matters how much you practice. It matters if you enjoy it. If you basically have learned the skill of it. Shoot a slingshot and become skilled with it. Whatever. That's what I did. I became good at shooting a slingshot. That's where I got my start. I've been shooting a slingshot since I was 5. My grandfather made my first slingshot, so it's all about, skill. It's all about, learning the skill of shooting. And it's never the tool. It's always the person behind it. Always remember that. The tool is what you do with it and how you use it. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you. Awesome, Joseph. That sounds awesome. I've seen a few pre-charged pneumatic pistols. I've seen one, but it's not available in any store. I saw one on the YouTube channel. And man, that thing had lots of power. It was a pre-charged pneumatic air pistol, man. I tell you what. Woo! The thing was about this big. It was like a large pistol. But damn, man, oh man, that thing could just hit. That had knockdown, drag out power. I mean, it just smack. Joseph, you were telling me about Texas. I wish you would get. You have my email about the Texas thing. I would no, not Texas. Sorry, it was Kentucky. It was a Kentucky thing. It was an event in Kentucky. I'd love to go there. I would need you to email me though for the information. You have my email, so if email me the information, I would surely appreciate it. I'd love to go to Kentucky, to that Kentucky Fest thing you're talking about. I've never been to Kentucky. I'd like to go to Kentucky. That's pretty good. I'm glad you're helping out veterans. I mean, that's very good, Joseph. God bless you. Well, I don't know, but Joseph invited me to some type of festival in Kentucky. I was like, I'm thinking about it, and I would like to go. There is a channel I would suggest to people who like this kind of content. It's an American who's currently living in Germany. It's called Fletched Evolution. I would check out his video. He did a really cool, like, for the Steamboat Stinger AR-6 repeating pistol crossbow. He did a really cool, like, bolt, like, lethality, like how deep the bolts will penetrate into meat using a pork rib and basically oranges wrapped around the pork rib to simulate flesh, I think it was. And he wanted to see how deep the bolts would penetrate into organic material, like which bolts, like little bolts, would penetrate. And there are different kinds, by the way. There are different kinds with different heads. Would penetrate the most accurately with a pistol crossbow, you know. And yeah, I think he was shooting a Steamboat Stinger AR-6. I'm not sure, but there's a line of repeating crossbows out there. You can get them on Amazon if you want them. They're lethal. They're good for self-defense. They're also good for small game hunting. They're repeating crossbows. I would suggest that video to you. Fletched Evolution is a pretty good channel. Yeah, the Tennessee Classic. I'd like to know more about that, but you're going to have to email the information to me, Joseph. I haven't forgotten about it, but I had to work, so you know that. But you know, I'm tooting my own horn. Yeah, the Tennessee Classic, I think that's what you called it. Yeah. Like I said, you got to email me the information. Let me see what's going on. But that being said, let's get back to what's making this stream. I'm glad for the 5 thumbs up, by the way. Making this stream so nice. All right. Let's get back to the shooting videos, the shooting stuff, and let's see what we can talk about when it comes to shooting. You know, shooting irons and stuff like that. Now, black powder is available, especially, you know, if you don't, you can get black powder revolvers, different kinds of black powder firearms without any background check in America. They're not considered firearms. So you can get those if you want to. I would say you might want to learn from somebody that knows how to work that before you even think about that. You might want to take some courses in black powder before you ever think about, you know, using black powder. Okay, I'm not a bowyer, but I definitely would love to go and learn if that's, you know, how to build a bow. Let's see. I've used red dots, really, like laser red dot. They work really well, and scopes. Scopes work really well, but I have no preference for either one. I've used like crosshairs. I've used scopes, red dot. Both can be. You just gotta. I try to adapt to them all. Let my eye do the talking because I've been shooting slingshots for a long time, and I literally my only scope was basically one eye squint, and that's it. You have to squint one eye and focus. There's no but yeah, laser red dot has been really effective. Um, okay, we're down to 3 viewers. 3 viewers, 7 thumbs up. That's awesome. I think this stream has been going pretty well. So I'm gonna go off air soon. I'll give everyone a chance to say their goodbyes. Three viewers. Okay. That being said, God bless you all, and always shoot straight and focus.